I've had a present sent to me by Shazad Kareem from Trappex, and he sent me this, what he calls a power hammer, which is basically a device for agitating radiators to get rid of magnetite from the bottom of the radiators. So let's open this box and see what it is. Christmas has come early. Okay, so made of rubber with Trappex on the end there. So, and it fits in an SDS drill. So pretty straightforward piece of kit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test and see how good this is. So I've got loads of knackered old radiators here at the centre. So I'm going to get a boiler up and running which has got a magnetic filter on it. I'm going to clean the magnetic filter and then I'm going to run the heat in for an hour or so, get it up to temperature, and then I'm going to find the worst radiator. I'm going to agitate along the bottom. It's got the instructions here on the box what to do. And I'm going to see how much magnetite ends up back on the filter from just doing one radiator. I'm also going to use my Kane thermal imaging camera to show you the difference of the radiator at the beginning before I've agitated it and after I've agitated it. So this needs to go onto a hammer drill, SDS, in just the breaker mode so it can't spin round. And it does say on the box here that we need to put a cloth over the top of here to stop marking the bottom, and we're just going to run along the bottom of the radiator at the solid bit at the bottom, not the thin bit, because otherwise you could damage this or damage the radiator. So let's get into the training room, get this filter cleaned and sorted out, and get on with it. Now, first thing I'm going to do is clean the filter out, or check the filter, see how dirty it is, to give us a starting point. So I need to turn these valves off first. So that's what we've got to start off with. So I'm going to clean this out now so it's all nice and clean, and then we'll agitate the radiators and see how much we actually get on the magnet. So you can see the filter magnet now is nice and clean. Just need to get it back in. So I'm going to use this boiler to work around the system, and then we're going to check the magnet after I've agitated the radiators to see exactly how much this agitator removes the magnetite. Now this is the radiator we're going to be agitating. It's just a single panelled radiator. So if we look at the radiator through my thermal imaging camera, you can see the top of the radiator is 61 degrees, but as we go down the radiator and we get to the blue section down at the bottom, you can see the temperature drops drastically with this rod. So hopefully once we agitate it we can reduce this really dark blue section at the bottom and make the whole of the radiator as warm as we can. Let's get on with agitating it. Now, Trappex have designed this to fit in an SDS drill, but the setting we're going to set it on is the breaker setting. So when you turn it on, it doesn't spin round because we don't want it to spin round. Now, other thing Trappex say is when you're using this device, you have to cover it with a cloth when you're going along your radiator. But we're not going to do that. Sorry, Trappex. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if this, without using the rag, will damage the bottom of this radiator, because I don't really care, it's in the centre, or whether this gets scratched or damaged while we're doing it. Also, we need to think about our PPE equipment. So, ear defenders and glasses. Always remember your PPE. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to start at the bottom here, and I'm going to work my way around. Now, you do it at the very bottom of the radiator on the flat bit here. You don't do it here, because if you do it here, it could damage the radiator or break this. So it's just a matter of pressing it on and running up. Now, all I'm going to do is run up and down. That's it. And then I'm going to see, just doing that, whether that will remove enough of the magnetite from this radiator to get it warm at the bottom. Also, because I'm using the magnet at the boiler, I need to have the heating running. So this has been running for an hour or so now, so it's lovely and warm here, but it's not down here. So let's get on with agitating then. Now that's basically all I'm doing. Just gone up and down. I'm going to leave this to run now for another 10-15 minutes. Then I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to cool it down. And then I'm going to check the magnetic filter to see what debris we've got in there. Once I've done that, then I'll put it back on again, and then I'll use my Kane thermal imaging camera to see if it's made any difference to this radiator. So let's have a look and see if it has damaged this. Well, it's actually put some marks on it. And if has it damaged the radiator? No. It's not damaged the radiator at all, but it has put a few little marks in that. So I guess, yes, you do have to use the cloth to protect it. Now let's look at the difference. Remember, we only went up and down once. So at the top of the radiator, we've got 66 degrees. Remember, the flow temperature is about 60. And if we go down to the bottom now, look at the difference. And we've literally only done up and down once. So you can see a massive difference in that radiator. So the bottom is 57 now, and the top is about 66. So you can see the big difference now to what it was before. So shall we go and look at the magnet and see what's on that? So it has cooled down a little bit. So let's get these valves off and have a look at this magnet. So we're ready? Wow! I didn't expect there to be that much. So that's how much it's actually got off that one radiator. Just one pass backwards and forwards with one radiator running. So it's not as if it's come from any other radiators. So that's a bit incredible, really. And it just shows how much you can get off by agitating the radiators. Now, this system runs around all the time, and if you've seen my videos before, you can see it gets cleaned on a regular basis. It gets drained on a regular basis. There's inhibitor put in it all the time. But just agitating that one radiator has got that much off it. So, it works. Trappex's radiator agitator works. Now, I hope you found this video interesting, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.